Hello, welcome to Record Time. Record Time is a weekly Akashic experience where we explore simple and mysterious themes through the lens of the Akashic Records. This week, the keepers of the Akashic Records are asking us, are you selfish when you make decisions? Are you selfish when you make decisions? There is, as they often do, there's a little twinkle of mischief in their eyes as they ask us this question. And oh my gosh, I'd love for you to just take a moment to see how that question lands. What does that mean to you? What are the preconceived ideas that kind of come up when you hear that question? Are you judging the question? Are you judging yourself? Just notice how that question tastes in your mouth as you chew on it. And this question is so rich, it's so deep, but we're just gonna take a little bite out of it today. And what the keepers are asking us, what the records are asking us here, is really, it's not like when they say, are you being selfish when you make decisions? What they're actually asking us, are you being yourself? Are you honoring yourself when you make decisions? Are you being like yourself, selfish, when you make decisions? What, again, like another way to ask this is, are you making your decisions with self-awareness? Are you deeply connected to yourself when you make your decisions? And again, just see how that lands. See how the other ways of saying this question land for you. And what they're inviting us to do, what they're offering us with this inquiry, is permission to be ourselves when we make our decisions. Permission to be very honest about who we are when we make our decisions. And again, it's like the beauty, the permission, the simplicity that lives inside of self-awareness, the richness that is available to us through our own self-awareness. And what all of this is about is when you choose to do something, are you being honest about what will actually suit you? Are you making decisions with the clarity, the real honesty of knowing yourself? And I'm smiling and I'm kind of laughing because it's so easy to almost like gently, very innocently delude ourselves when we make decisions. And it's in these moments, if we're not connected to who we really are, if we're not in contact with the reality of who we are when we make decisions, we might be making decisions that are a little bit aspirational, might be one way to say it, or just not true, not really grounded in reality, the reality of who we are. And I'll give you an example, a simple example. For me, it took me most of my life to realize that I work at a slower pace than everyone around me. I work at a slower pace than everyone around me. And I just did not want to believe that. I couldn't accept that as true. I couldn't accept that part of myself, just the reality of that. And I denied it so much because it just felt unacceptable to be slow. And that might be understandable because in the world that I live in, people value productivity and speed and hustle and getting things done as efficiently as possible. So being slow is not really a great quality to have in some perspectives. And so it makes sense now looking back why I denied that at all costs. I was like, there's no way that that's true. I'm actually really fast. And the thing is, we're so just like magical, and we're so, I don't know, we have will, we have free will. And so you can choose to deny your nature and go in the opposite direction if you want to. Nothing is preventing you from doing that. So in this case, in this example, in my case, I actually got really, really good at working fast. So much so that I tricked everyone and myself into thinking I was a fast worker. But actually, if I was going at my natural pace, it's slow. But I didn't know that because I was hiding it underneath this need to be fast. And so with this example, with that just one silly example, am I being selfish when I make decisions? What does being selfish look like in that context with this specific flavor, with this question that they're asking us? If I'm really being selfish when I make decisions, what that means is I am making decisions with the awareness, the self-awareness that I prefer naturally a slower pace. Even though I wish that wasn't true. And so in this way, what they're inviting us, they're really almost like, not just giving us permission, but they're really almost pleading with us. Like, please honor yourself when you make your decisions. Be honest about who you are. Can you accept yourself as you are when you make decisions? Even in these practical, simple, silly things, right? About what pace do you like to go at? So if I'm really being selfish, self-aware, I will make my decisions selfishly by giving myself more time to do something than what I wish it would take. But if I was being not self-aware, if I was being unselfish and prioritizing other people's perspectives, other people's timing, other people's preference of like what they want from me, then I would give myself less time and force myself to go fast. And what happens when we do that? What's the difference in the outcome when we honor who we really are versus pretend to be something that we're not? This is something that I invite you to experiment with. You've probably done this a lot of times without even realizing it. You probably know the answer. If I'm a slow person and I don't give myself a lot of time, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be stressful. The work probably will not be as good, and I'll be upset. It will put a strain on me to do that, to go outside of my nature and force myself to be something that I'm not. And if I give myself the time that I actually need, even though I don't like it, that option will be so much easier, so much more natural, so much more expansive, so much more pleasurable. And the work will probably be better. The result will probably be better too. And so this, again, is one example, but what the essence of this is, are you being honest with yourself? And are you honoring yourself when you make your decisions? And the reason that this is tricky to do, it's easy to think about. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense to be self-aware when you make decisions. That's almost self-explanatory. But the reason they're saying it is because it's hard. It can be a little bit painful even at the beginning, in that initial moment, to face the truth of who you are, to admit, I am like this, even though I wish I was something else. And that might not always be the case. It could be, oh, wow, I didn't know I was like this. I love that I'm like this. And so there might be pieces that we've been hiding that we just haven't occurred to us. Pieces of ourselves that we didn't know, that are so easy to love, so wonderful to meet and accept and bring in. And there are other pieces that are a little bit harder to face, a little bit harder to accept. But the more we can bring in and meet our real self as we are, the more ease and pleasure and naturalness awaits us in the feeling, in the experience of the unfolding of our lives. It's not just about the outcome, but the process of being alive will feel better if you can be who you really are, if you can honor yourself, if you can be selfish, as in self-aware, and give yourself permission to be who you actually are, instead of forcing yourself, trying, perhaps in vain, to be who you wish you were instead of who you actually are. So that's where I'm going to leave you for today. And if this sparked something in you, I would love to hear from you. You can feel free to share your inspirations in the comments or by sending me a message on my website, minaruchi.com. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Wishing you well until next time. Namaste.